Hello, I'm Ari Richter and welcome back to lecture. This week we will discuss the many mediums and applications associated with the practice of painting. In the history of the Western fine arts, paintings have been considered superior to drawings. This is due to the fact that paintings have traditionally been larger in scale, more complex, more colorful, and more labor-intensive than drawings. Although many drawing-focused artists from the 20th century to today have concentrated on making work that is an exception to this rule. The term history painting describes the type of painting that European academies acknowledged as being the most superior. As their name implies, this genre of painting depicts historical events, albeit idealized or glorified versions of those events. This early 19th century French painter, Eugene Delacroix, made work in the grand manner style of history painting. This piece, entitled Liberty Leading the People, is an allegory to the French Revolution of 1779. This painting from 1830 does not depict the events of the Revolution as they occurred, but it uses the mythical figure of Lady Liberty to promote the feeling of the Revolution. Paint is a unique medium to art in that it is both a material as well as a method of application. This is because an artist uses paint to create a painting, and then the action itself is called painting. Linguistically, this makes painting different than any other medium. For example, a sculptor sculpts, but his material is not called sculpt, and a printmaker prints, but her medium is not called print. In its essence, all paint consists of three components: pigment, binder, and vehicle. Pigment, which generally comes in the form of powder, is what provides color to your paint. Essentially, anything that can be finely ground can be used as a pigment. Some pigments are natural, and others are synthetic. Iron oxide, for example, is actually ground up rust that is harvested from iron. The intense blue pigment, cobalt, is derived from the metal of the same name. And possibly one of the strangest natural pigments is Indian yellow. Supposedly, this pigment was originally created by distilling the urine of cows from a specific region of India who were fed an exclusive diet of mango leaves. Whether this is true or not, today Indian yellow is generally synthesized in a laboratory. For almost every pigment that is found in nature, laboratories can create a cheaper synthetic version. Although synthetic paints look the same, they often fade over time and can have a lower level of saturation than natural pigments. The binder is what is mixed with the powdered pigment to hold its particles together. In the case of oil paint, oil serves as the binder, usually either linseed or safflower oil. The binder is essential to making paint because without it, the powdered pigment would not stick to the surface of a painting. Finally, the vehicle is what is used to further spread or disperse the pigment. For oil paints, the vehicle is often either turpentine or mineral spirits. Using a vehicle is how a painter can create very thin, fluid layers of paint. Vehicle does not usually come in pre-mixed paints, and not all painters choose to paint with a vehicle. The downside of painting with a vehicle is that it actually breaks down the integrity of the paint and can result in a lower saturation of the pigment. In olden days, painters used to have to mix their paints before every painting session. If not, the binder would dry out and they would risk ruining their often expensive pigments. Since the late 19th century, paints have been conveniently pre-mixed and packaged in tubes and jars. This stops them from drying so quickly and has made the painting practice much more portable. The surface that a painting is created on is called its support. One traditional support is wood panel. Sanded wood panels are revered for their durability and incredibly smooth surfaces. Artists have also traditionally painted on heavy fabrics, such as canvas or linen, that have been stretched tightly over a wooden frame. Any surface can serve as a support for a painting, though, from the hood of a car, to the wall of a cave, to a person's skin. Before an artist can begin painting on the canvas, they must first prime or coat the untreated support. One traditional primer is rabbit skin glue. This glue, which, yes, is derived from bunnies, helps to seal and protect the surface of a painting. Gesso is another traditional primer that mixes rabbit skin glue with natural chalk to create an opaque white layer on the support. What all primers share in common is that they are strong, flexible, and pH neutral. Without a pH neutral coating, the acids of the organic elements of the paint can literally rot through the fibers of the canvas over time. This is why historically significant paintings are still around to be seen today. This mid-20th century British painter, Francis Bacon, dismissed the historical precedents for priming his canvases. Bacon liked the ability of raw, uncoated canvas to soak up his vehicle-heavy oil paints. Unfortunately for Bacon, his work will not last forever. For artists who do want their work to last forever, paintings can be sealed with varnishes upon completion. Varnishes can be applied with a brush as a liquid or with an aerosol as a spray. Varnishes protect the dried pigment from sunlight, scratches, weather, and time. If you've ever tried to take a flash photo of a painting and noticed a bright glare on the painting's surface, it is a result of the reflective varnish. There are many different types of paint that artists have to choose from today. In this week's lecture, we will discuss the mediums of oils, acrylic, watercolor, gouache, tempera, encaustic, and fresco. We will begin by discussing the medium of oil paint.